Morning everyone. I'm going to make a short little film now to try and show you what is meant by spirited play. So spirited play is a technique that I developed from godly play, and basically it's a storytelling technique that puts a story in a box and uses thinking skills. So a little bit of P4C, a little bit of sort of Montessori way of investigating and thinking about the world, exploring the world, along with Jerome Berryman's godly play technique, together in a way that can do more than just Christian Bible stories, but can put any religious or non-religious story in a box and get children to think about it philosophically. So we try and tell the stories as simply as possible. I'm going to show you an example today of the Good Samaritan, a really well-known parable, a made-up story with a meaning that Jesus told. You could put Aesop's fables in here, and you will notice the important point in it is getting children to wonder. And they wonder at the start, and after you've told them the story, you get them to wonder again. And actually you don't have to tell them what the story is about. The whole point of spirited play is that children discover this for themselves as they go, and that they play with the story, and that helps them to deepen their understanding. So spirited play provides a safe place for children to play and learn and encounter religious stories different from their own maybe family backgrounds, to get into the world of other people. It helps the child to make connections between what they know and their own experiences in these stories. It supports spiritual development, so great for SMSC to show the impact of that within your school. And it makes the language of religion familiar, so it starts doing religious literacy. It's a discovery method of learning, i.e. we leave it to the children to discover, and it's multi-sensory, so it works with sound, and with the playing it can go on to taste and all sorts of things. And it is an approach that sort of develops a calm encounter with ideas, a deliberate way of working and a deliberate way of thinking. So yes, you'll see there's a PowerPoint on the BDSIP website that explains the things that I'm talking about now, but yeah, this has been trialled for a long time in Newham, sort of developed it about 15 years ago. So you'll see a spirited play session involves a number of things. Often at the start you need two adults because you need a gatekeeper as well as the storyteller, and then there are certain points within the story that you work through. And the really important thing is that the kids go on to play. So after you've had a look at the Good Samaritan, I suppose it's thinking about what stories could you put in a box, what stories would be useful in your setting for children to wonder about and learn a little bit more about religion. Okay, so you need a box and you put your story in it. You use lots of objects that you find in your early years setting from fabric. I've cut out here a road with some foam, thin foam. I've got some paper rocks. I've made a little town from a Knorr stock cube packet. Yes, so you can add all sorts of things into your box. I've used a tree. I think that was from a jungle set and one was from a farm set. I found some little rocks. That again was in an African or a dinosaur set. So you can really have fun sort of creating your different objects. And as far as people, you might want to use Playmobil people that you dress up, and you can use different racial people in your story. Well, these are figures actually from Godly Play itself, and so you get cut out wooden characters and you get given a template to draw on, and you don't put faces on them. So you leave this open to the children's imagination. So once you have your story in a box, I'll just show you how you start your story. So you wonder what might be in the box, and the children will give you a whole load of ideas much quicker than adults. So they'll say maybe sweets or food or building blocks, maybe it's Lego, maybe it's cars, maybe it's an elephant, and whatever they say to you, you get really excited about what it might be, and that it would be brilliant if it was that. And then you ask, I wonder what else it might be. And the reason you keep wondering all the time is you're building up the idea that in RE actually there's not usually just one answer. It's not right or wrong, but we keep wondering, we keep thinking, we keep asking. So you wonder what those things might be. And then after you've got them really excited with some wondering, you have 3 abstract objects. So the first abstract object here, as you can see, is a piece of fabric. And I'll get this out and I'll wonder with the children what this might be. And so usually with the children it's a magic flying carpet. And I'd go, oh, that would be brilliant. I'd love to go on a magic flying carpet. Who else would like to go on a magic flying carpet? Brilliant. I wonder what else it could be. And somebody might say it's a headscarf. So I tend to do whatever they suggest. And I say, oh, wouldn't I look lovely? And I wonder what else it could be. It might become an elephant and I have to do something sort of trunk-like with it. It may be that it's a giant's handkerchief. And you keep wondering with them. And again, you'll find kids who are usually quiet, once they see that you're going to take all the answers, they'll keep on going. And then I put this on the floor. Usually I do this in the round with the kids sitting around the edge in a big group or a small group. And then I take my second object and I wonder what this might be. Okay. And they might say it's a snake, or it's a big worm, or it's a hair on a giant's head. It might be spaghetti. It might be a tie. Again, you're getting them to wonder, and every time they give a response, you say, that's brilliant. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. I wonder what else it could be. Again, that goes down on the floor, ready for the story. And then you have your third abstract object. You can have 4 abstract objects, but you don't want to slow down the pace too much. So here are my other abstract objects, and cut out bits of paper. So I would wonder what these are, and they might say, oh, they're potatoes or Pringles or clouds or sheep, noses, a face, eye patches, all sorts of things. And again, what you're doing is you are warming up the speculative part of their brain with their cognitive part, so what they already know with what something might be. And that's where you really get the brain buzzing, and that's where you get deep thinking from. So that's why we're warming that up. And once we've got those down, we then add our non-abstract objects, like a tree. And you'll see me lay out the board in a moment. So I'm going to build up my story mat after wondering what some of these things are with the children. So we've got our first abstract object down, the cloth, and then whatever the blue thing is. And then we've got this. And then we've got our over here. We've got our 3 objects. And the moment I bring this into view, it begins to set a scene for the children. So it's really important to have the abstract objects first of all, so that they're getting their wondering going, and then they can add on to that. So I'm also going to add a few pebbles, and I'm going to add my place. So one of my boxes says Jerusalem, and one of my boxes with the town says Jericho, and I'm going to put those at either side of what is my road going along. And then I'm going to tell my story. And so my story is adapted obviously from the story that we have in the Bible. And the important thing to know is 2,000 years ago, the Samaritans as a race were really disliked by the Jewish people. And that was because the Jewish people felt that they hadn't kept the faith pure and had sort of made their own religion from the Jewish faith. So I've set the scene, the children are ready, and now I'm going to tell the story. And as with all good stories, we use repetition. So here is a man, and this man had to travel from Jerusalem all the way to Jericho. But to get to these two places, he had to go through a desert. And in the desert, there was a dark, dangerous, rocky area. And in the dark, dangerous, rocky area, sometimes robbers would hide there, ready for finding a traveller on their own who they could rob and take their precious goods from. So here comes our traveller. Dumpty 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 dum, dumpty 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 dum, dumpty 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 dum. Ooh, I know this place. I've been told this is the dark and dangerous place where robbers sometimes hide, waiting to pounce upon people who are travelling on their own. Oh no, I'm on my own. Oh, I need to be very fast and travel through this bit. So he began to move along the road, and before he had got very far, suddenly a stone, a big rock came and hit him, and the traveller fell over. Oh, said the traveller, I hurt. And then he heard footsteps, and people came and kicked him and hit him. And then they took all his goods, all his possessions, and ran off with them. Oh, said the man, my head hurts, and my arm hurts, and my leg hurts. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then he heard someone else come along the road. Dumpty-dumpty-dumpty-dum, dumpty-dumpty-dumpty-dum. It was a priest, and he was somebody who worked in the temple in Jerusalem. He was a very holy man. Dumpty-dumpty-dumpty-dum, oh, said the priest, I've heard about this place. This is the dark and dangerous place where robbers lurk. Oh, I need to be careful here. And just as he was about to run on, he saw the man lying on the ground and groaning with pain. Oh no, said the priest. There's robbers here. What should I do? And he jumped over the man and ran all the way to Jericho. Phew, said the priest, I'm safe. Oh, the man on the ground said, my head hurts and my arm hurts and my leg hurts and I can't move and the sun is so hot. What am I going to do? And then he heard footsteps come along. Dumpty-dumpty-dumpty-dum, dumpty-dumpty-dumpty-dum, dumpty-dumpty-dum. Well, next along the road was a man who used to help at the holy place. He looked after all the books. Dumpty-dumpty-dumpty-dum, dumpty-dumpty-dumpty-dum. Oh no, said the man, this is the dark, dangerous place. Oh no, this is where the robbers might be. I need to be quick. And then he heard the groaning on the ground. Oh no, he said, the robbers are here. What am I going to do? And he as well jumped over the man and ran all the way to Jericho until he was safe. Phew, said the man, I'm safe. Well, the man on the ground, he wasn't feeling very hopeful that anybody was going to help him. "My head hurts and my arm hurts and my leg hurts," said the man. "Won't anybody help me?" And then he heard someone else coming along the ground. This time it was a Samaritan. He didn't live in this area, and he was travelling along back to his country. "Dumpty dumpty dumpty dum, dumpty 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 dum, dumpty 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 dum." Said the Samaritan, "I've heard of this place. This is the dark, dangerous place where robbers lurk. I need to be very careful here. Come on, donkey, we've got to go." And as he was about to leave, he saw the man on the ground. Said the Good Samaritan, "There's a man injured. It must mean that the robbers are here. What am I going to do? What am I going to do?" And he actually went to the man and he put him on his donkey and he took him all the way to Jericho. And then he took him to a hospital to make sure that the man was looked after and he was safe. I wonder what this story is about. So I hope you enjoyed that quick version of Spirited Play and a story. You don't have to learn the script by heart, but it's really good if you're familiar with the script and that you keep using those wondering words. So after I've finished the story, I would ask children in pairs to wonder what the story is about. I'd probably get some feedback and I'd get excited about all their different answers. And then they would go off, and this is the play part of Spirited Play, they would go off and they would get to play with the story. There might be some dressing up, there might be some books with the story. It may be that we do some helping games outside. It may be that we've got some fine motor skills activities to do with writing a word like kind, or doing a kicking K, or whatever it is. There would be a whole load of things that you could do off this story. And the idea is that the children play around it. And then at the end of the session, your morning session or your afternoon session, you draw the kids back together. You might tell the story again. It may be that you tell it from a book, or it may be that you use your box again and tell the story. The kids will start joining in. And then the idea is that they feast, they do show and tell, and they look at what they've learnt this morning about maybe friendship, about kindness, about being a kind friend. They may have painted something, they may have sculpted something. So there's lots and lots of fun activities you can do off these stories. So each religious and I suppose a non-religious world story, if it's lasted over 500 years, it's got probably a universal value in it. And what we're doing in this technique is we're bringing out that universal value, relating it to children's lives and helping them to explore a religious story, making it relevant to their lives. Okay, bye.